Home prices are up, but listings are too. Welcome to the July 2025 Vernon, Kelowna and Shuswap market update. We've got a lot to talk about. The sales are climbing, the listings are shifting, and the summer buyers are out there in full force. So if you're thinking about buying or selling, this is the month to pay very close attention. I'm Reners with Vernon Salt Fowler, bringing you your July 2025 market update for the North Okanagan, the Central Okanagan, and for the Shuswap. First, let's talk about the absorption rate, aka the sell to inventory ratio. This number tells us how quickly the market is absorbing the listings, and here is what we saw for July. For the North Okanagan, 16.2%, a sign of a surprisingly fairly balanced market. For the Central Okanagan, 12.69%, still firmly a buyer's market. And for the Shuswap, 18.69%. That's the strongest in the three regions. Pretty strong balanced market, edging towards a seller's market there. Anything over 20% typically suggests it's a seller's market. But this summer, we're getting close to a more competitive pace, especially in the Shuswap. Number of sales. Let's talk about how many homes are actually selling. In the North Okanagan, 194 total sales. That is up from 19.02 from last year, with 171 of those being residential. In the Central Okanagan, 482 sales, up 10.8%, 440 of those being residential. And lastly, the Shuswap, 141 total, up 29.36%, with 117 sales and a whopping 34.84% increase from July of 2024. So overall, buyers are still active and deals are still happening. The Shuswap in particular had a major jump in activity, and it was leading the way with nearly 30% of an increase. So way to go, Shuswap. You will find though that the Shuswap does tend to do really good in the summer months, and a lot of that has to do with there's more short-term rental, there's lots of areas on the outskirts, so you just have a little bit of a different demographic, Blind Bay, Eagle Bay, North Shuswap, etc. Let's talk days to sell. Now, how homes selling and how many days are they taking? For the North Okanagan, 60 days on average. For the Central Okanagan, 55 days, and that's the quickest turnaround that there's been for the three of them, and the Shuswap, which was 82 days. So they're taking a little bit longer to move. But now remember, some of these stats can be a little bit deceiving. Even though they're saying a certain time frame, we don't necessarily know if it's been a relist. In fact, it's actually taken longer because it's expired or something of that nature, okay? So just keep in mind when we look at the stats, you have to take them with a grain of salt. So here's some food for thought, specifically for those sellers out there. The numbers mean you need to be patient, especially if you're in the Shuswap, or the proper pricing and presentation still matter. Well, they may always matter actually. Home prices. This month's trends are really interesting. Let's take a look at the breakdown for the average residential prices for the three areas. For the North Okanagan, it was $801,409. For Central Okanagan, it was $1,053,775. And for the Shuswap, it was $796,219,000. The median residential prices, remember the median is taking out the highs and the lows. So for the North Okanagan, it was $734,650. For Central Okanagan, it was $919,750. And for the Shuswap, it was $757,500. So that's giving you a little better idea of what the prices potentially in that area could be on average. While Central remains the most expensive overall, prices in the North and the Shuswap are holding steady, and in some cases, even increasing slightly. Listing inventory. Let's look at what's available. New listings in July in the North Okanagan are showing a larger increase than other areas. The North Okanagan, there was 391. That is up 8.31% from last year. The Central Okanagan was 1,184. That's up just 0.85%. And the Shuswap, 235, which is down 5.62%. Total listings. This is kind of interesting. The North Okanagan was 1,653, which is up 5.96%. Central Okanagan was 4,481, which is up 5.93%. And the Shuswap, 1,139, which is down 3.23%. Inventory is building in the north and central regions, but we're seeing some tightening in the Shuswap. That might explain why the Shuswap is looking a little more positive towards the sellers than the months that we've talked about earlier. Before we move on to our waterfront stats, please remember to like and subscribe to our channel. We have fresh updates like this every month and videos like this coming in every single week. So, whether you're looking to move in 9 days or 90 days, or just curious about the market that we call home, be sure to call, text, or email today. And just remember, just add salt. Waterfront properties. Summer's in full swing and buyers are looking for the water. Here's what's happening. Year-to-date waterfront listings, everything in the area is quite up substantially. North Okanagan, 41, which is up 35 from this time last year. Central Okanagan, 94, which is up 73 since last year. And the Shuswap, 64, up 51 from last year. Year-to-date waterfront sales. Now the sales are also up, which is good to see in every area. Some are seeing greater increases than others. The North Okanagan, 17, up from 12 last year. Central Okanagan, 39, up from 33. And the Shuswap, 21, up from 20. Inventory up and the sales are also up. More lakefront action all around. Still, there's plenty of choice, especially if you're thinking about making a waterfront lifestyle move. So, you know, buy now. Advice for buyers. If you've been waiting on the sidelines, July's number suggests that now might be your time. Interest rates remain relatively stable, and although inventory is still a bit tight in some areas, more listings are coming on the market. There's increased buyer activity, which means more competition, but also more opportunity, especially in the North Okanagan where time to sell is manageable and prices are still more affordable than the Central. Pro tip, get pre-approved, know your must-haves, and be ready to move quickly. When the right home comes along, you want to be in a good position to make a move. Advice for sellers. Yes, homes are still selling, but in most cases, we're leaning into a buyer's market. I know it says balanced, but it really feels like a buyer's market out there. This means you need to price strategically, stage properly, and make sure your home stands out in a crowd of competition. Buyers are savvy and they are patient right now. Oh, they are patient. So, setting your home apart is key. Don't assume you'll get top dollar unless you're priced correctly. Even if your neighbor's home sold in 2 days last year, it doesn't necessarily mean that's what you're gonna see. If you're selling waterfront, you've got a lot more competition this year, but also a good number of active buyers, especially in Central Okanagan. And that's it, folks, for this month's stats. Be sure to join us for next month. I'm Laura Reners with Vernon Salt Fowler.